When working with files, it's not just about the content of the file. Sometimes you just want to move them around, rename the file, or even delete the file. In this video, we're going to learn about how we can do all of this using Python's built-in OS module. The OS module allows you to directly interact with your files and folders the same way you would using your File Explorer or your Finder on macOS. So let's take a look at some of the key functions that we can use out of this module. Over here, I'm going to start with importing the module itself. And now I'm going to rename this output file. So using the rename function, I'll rename it from output.txt to renamed.txt. And if I run this cell here, you see that the file renames into rename.txt. And if I open it, it keeps the same content that we had before. Now, a tricky thing, the rename function is not just about renaming, it's also about moving files around. So I could run the same thing where I'm gonna call the rename function and I'm gonna rename it from rename.txt to resources/output.txt, which basically means rename this file into output.txt and move it into the resource folder over here. If I run this cell, here we go, the file gets moved, and if we open it from here, it has the same content still. Then finally, we're able to delete files. So first I'm gonna check if the file exists. So I'll say if os.path exists, and the path that I'm looking for here is gonna be the resources/output.txt. If it does exist, then we want you to call os.remove.file path. Otherwise, we just want you to print out that the file does not exist. If we run it, there we go, the file goes away. Let me just close it from here. And if I try to execute that same cell again, we get the error or the text that basically says file does not exist. You're also able to use the operating system module here to list all the files that you have in a directory. So we're able to do something like files equals os.list directory. And I need to provide a particular path. So in this case, let me do the resource folder. And if I print out files, let me move this up a little bit and run the cell. Here we go. We get examples or the example.txt and the pass by reference versus pass by value animation.gif. If I run this again using a different path, so maybe the current path, we get the resource folder, we get the previous sessions, the utils, the .get folder, and the files and exceptions.ipynb. The .get directory here is actually a hidden folder. So even though you don't see it in here, you're able to see it through your code. We're also able to do stuff like list comprehensions that we've learned about earlier on to filter out our list of files to only show us files that ends with a certain extension. So I could do something like text files equal, and then this is going to be F for F in os.list directory. So list everything out in the current folder. And the condition is going to be if the file here ends with .txt. So if I print out this text files, we get nothing. However, if I change this path, so it goes into the resource folder and I run it again, here we go. I'm able to return a list of all the text files that I have in this particular folder. So now we're able to open, read, and write files. We're able to create and manage and rename and organize our files. So really only one big question remains. What happens when something goes wrong? What if I'm trying to open a file that does not exist, or a file that the user does not have permission to see? In the next video, we're going to learn how do we gracefully handle those errors using exceptions.